Hit that subscribe button right now, or every time you microwave something, it'll explode. Sometimes, when fishermen cast their lines, they haul in catches that simply defy explanation. And this compilation features only the craziest, most bizarre encounters they've ever experienced. So stay tuned. Back in 2024, a group of fishermen off the coast thought they were in for a regular day of fishing when suddenly the water below them started to move. What popped up wasn't just another fish, but a huge, great white shark, way bigger than anything they'd ever seen before. The size and intensity of the creature left everyone on the boat completely frozen. Then, in a flash, it grabbed the bait and disappeared back into the depths. The ocean went quiet again, but none of them would ever forget how close they came to encountering the real king of the sea. Deep pull. Sometimes the ocean reminds fishermen who's really in charge. One local man was out for an ordinary day's catch when his rod suddenly jerked hard, harder than anything he'd ever felt before. At first, he figured it was just a big fish, but the pull kept growing, strong enough to drag him toward the edge. Whatever was down there felt massive, almost unreal in its strength. Fortunately, he was on solid ground. Had he been in the water, that catch might have pulled him straight into the deep. Pier Phantom. In 2009, beachgoers at Macquarie enormous fins slicing through the water, far larger than anything from a known shark species. The pier shook from the impact, and the crowd stood frozen, unsure of what they'd just seen. According to some of the onlookers, it matched descriptions of the ancient megalodon, the prehistoric shark said to have ruled the oceans millions of years ago, because only it could have a majestic fin like this. Russian mermaid. Back in 2018, social media exploded over what people called a real-life mermaid. Photos and videos started circulating online, showing what looked like a half-human, half-fish creature lying near a Russian shoreline. The figure had a scaly tail and oddly human-like features, and for a while, everyone wanted to believe it was real. News outlets picked it up, theories ran wild, and debates filled comment sections everywhere. But as experts stepped in, the excitement faded. They concluded the footage was likely staged, just another internet illusion. Still, that brief moment had the world wondering if the old legends were trying to resurface. Harbor giant. In 2012, fishermen in Pakistan pulled off something unbelievable. A whale shark that was more than 10 meters long. It was hauled from the water using not one, but 2 cranes. Whale sharks are the largest fish alive, but spotting one that big near the shore is almost unheard of. Normally, these gentle giants prefer the deep sea, far from human eyes. Its appearance so close to the harbor raised questions. Many experts believe shifts in temperature and overfishing might be driving deep-sea creatures closer to land, reminding us just how fragile the balance beneath the waves really is. Frozen siren. In March 2013, a group of fishermen off Greenland's icy coast pulled up something that didn't belong in their nets. It wasn't a fish, and it wasn't debris. It looked almost human, with pale skin and webbed hands captured beneath the surface. For a moment, everyone froze and stared at what they swore resembled a mermaid. Then, just as quickly, the net slipped and the figure vanished back into the depths. The crew didn't speak much after that. In fact, they stayed away from those waters for months, not sure about what might still be swimming below. River Titan. Deep in the Amazon, locals were losing livestock to something lurking beneath the waters. After days of vanishing animals, they set a trap. and what they pulled out left everyone speechless. It was a colossal fish, so heavy that the entire village had to help lift it, but the real chill came later, when experts examined it and claimed this was only a juvenile. If that was true, then somewhere out there, beneath the dark current of the Amazon, its much larger mother might still be waiting. Atlantic giant. In 2017, Ireland's coastal waters started serving up something no one expected. For nearly 2 months, fishermen kept hauling in these enormous 20-foot-long creatures, the kind most people only hear about in sea legends. These deep dwellers rarely surface as they prefer the cold, dark layers of the ocean. What made it even stranger was the history behind it. Only 7 have ever been caught in Ireland over the last 3 centuries. 4 of them came from the same family's nets. That kind of pattern doesn't feel random. Whatever stirred beneath those waves that year, it felt deliberate. Shore stranger. A beachgoer spotted something unusual tangled in the sand while casually walking in the beach. The creature had long, curling tentacles and a striped, alien-looking body. It wasn't some deep-sea monster, though. It was a cuttlefish, one of the ocean's cleverest shapeshifters. Known for changing its color and texture in an instant, it can vanish into its surroundings like magic. The sight left the onlooker amazed, a reminder that even close to shore, the ocean still hides things most of us never get to see. Glass dragon. While wandering through a quiet park, an adventurer stopped by a small pond and spotted something odd beneath the surface. Reaching in, he lifted out a tiny creature unlike anything he'd seen before. It wasn't exactly a fish. Its body was almost transparent, with a long tail and a head shaped like a miniature dragon. Up close, it looked fragile, like a creature from a dream rather than a pond. It wasn't alive, but its form was mesmerizing all the same. Holding it there, he couldn't help but wonder what else nature hides in plain sight, just waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Ribbon giant. On July 15, 2022, a group of fishers got the surprise of their lives when their line nearly snapped under a massive pull. What they reeled up was unbelievable. A silvery fish stretching over 16 feet long, shimmering like a living ribbon. It turned out to be a rare oarfish, a deep-sea creature seldom seen near the surface. Some called it good luck, others whispered it was a bad omen. The fish was far too long to keep, so they released it back into the sea. Leaving behind a story that still makes people wonder what else is hiding in the deep. Sea leviathan. In 2013, off the coast of Port Macquarie, tourists aboard a small boat witnessed something they'd never forget. Out of nowhere, a colossal creature erupted from the water, leaping high into the air before crashing back into the waves. Its size easily rivaled that of their boat, far beyond any known shark or whale, leaving everyone in literal disbelief. Ghost whale. In 2014, a massive white whale washed ashore on a Chilean beach, instantly drawing a crowd. Its size was enormous, much larger than any whale typically seen in those waters. What really caught attention, though, was its ghostly white skin streaked with faint red patches. Some thought it might be albinism. Others suggested a rare genetic mutation that was probably linked to environmental stress, but no clear answer ever surfaced. After examination, the mystery only deepened, and locals began calling it the ghost whale of Chile's coast. Skullfish mystery. It started as just another calm day by the river, until a few sailors noticed something moving in the water. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary fish drifting along the current. But then they saw it. Its head wasn't like anything they'd ever seen. It looked almost like an upside-down skull, pale and hollow-eyed. The rest of its body had fins and a tail, sure. But that face, it didn't belong underwater. Some guessed it was a mutated fish. Others thought it might have been an unknown species. Whatever it was, it vanished just as quietly as it appeared, leaving behind one eerie story that still gives them chills.
Releasing this monster down to the depths.
ocean dancer. Off the coast of Mozambique, a few fishermen set out on a sunny day with a charter from Adventure Tropical, and luck was clearly on their side. Before long, they hauled in a stunning sailfish. A creature that looked like it had been designed to show off.
Well done, Andre!
With its long, sword-like nose and that tall, spiky fin stretching like a sail, it became a sight to remember. Why? It's because while sailfish are quite abundantly present in the ocean, it's their power and stealth which makes that hard to capture. So capturing one made it feel rare. Lake Phantom. This Russian woman was casually filming a quiet lake when the water suddenly rippled, and a massive creature surfaced. Its fins were oddly shaped, almost like something from the deep sea. Before the woman could react or call the authorities, the creature disappeared in the waves and was never seen again. Shore giant. When the waves rolled something massive onto the beach, locals knew it wasn't the usual driftwood or seaweed. This thing was huge, so big that people gathered in disbelief, whispering guesses that ranged from a whale to something far stranger. Authorities showed up with a crane to lift it, yet even up close, no one could say for sure what it was. Its form didn't quite match anything known. Then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it was taken away and never seen again. The beach went quiet after that, but the question lingered. What exactly came out of the sea that day? Reef Phantom. During a routine fishing trip, one angle of 50 feet deep came a creature that seemed straight out of the ocean's darker corners, its body spiny, rough, and painted in strange, shifting colors. It almost looked alive in a way that didn't feel familiar. The fisherman, torn between curiosity and caution, studied it for a moment before gently letting it go. With a flick of its fins, the creature vanished into the depths.
Yeah.
River Titan. While casting their nets in a quiet river, a group of fishermen noticed something massive rising from the river. At first, they thought it was just another big catch, but the thing was far larger than anything they'd seen before. The texture, the scales, everything looked so odd for it to be called ordinary. When it got caught in their net, it thrashed hard, powerful enough to rock the boat, but couldn't break free. Some said it was just a giant fish, maybe a catfish or sturgeon, but others weren't convinced. There was something different about it, something that didn't quite belong to this world. Ocean oddity. Sunfish, also known as mola mola, are among the strangest creatures drifting through the sea. Flat, round, and almost unfinished looking, they often get tangled in nets meant for other fish. But a few lucky fishermen have caught rare glimpses of these giants surfacing. Their massive fins slicing through the water like drifting sails. In one case, marine biologist Enrique Ostal managed to examine an enormous specimen up close. He carefully took its measurements and DNA samples before setting it free again. You made it to the end. You're the real ones. Here's a bonus entry for you guys. Uninvited guest. Out in open waters, a group of fishermen waited patiently for their nets to fill. When they finally pulled them in, their excitement quickly turned to disbelief. Tangled among the wriggling fish was a massive seal, far larger than any they had ever seen. It had devoured a good part of their haul and was thrashing wildly to escape. Despite their best efforts to hold it, the seal eventually broke free, slipping back into the waves. Though the day ended in loss, the fishermen couldn't help but laugh. After all, it's not every day the ocean gives you a story instead of a catch.